Today I have a super cool story of our road trip home from Texas. I was not going to film our road trip home because we were just kind of zooming home in a couple days, but throughout it, God did a whole bunch of crazy stuff protecting us and watching over us that I wanted to share with you guys. So we left Texas we left our campground about 11 o'clock on Tuesday. But first, we needed to stop at the dining hall. There were donuts to get sugared up for the road and a quick goodbye with our hosts, Nathan and Marissa from Less Junk, More Journey, and Corey and Jesse from Finding Our Someday. We were trying to race some storms home. It was super windy the night before, and we had not really gotten good sleep because it was just super windy, and in the camper it's very loud and noisy. Anyway, so we left about 11 o'clock, and it started raining like almost as soon as we left. Pretty intense storms, but we eventually drove out of that and had some good travel for a good bit. We kind of got a little bit delayed. There was power out at a gas station, so we had to go find another one, but that delayed us a little bit. Then we got gas, got lunch, that sort of thing. And we had not planned on where we were going to stop that night, so we were just going to drive until we couldn't anymore, and then we were going to find someplace. So we're getting closer to Mississippi, probably about an hour away from Vicksburg. And I had found a campground in Meridian, Mississippi, which is on like the east side of Mississippi. And it was going to be like 3 hours before we got there. But the kids were starting to get a little cranky and done traveling. And Nathan was getting tired of driving. So we were like, okay, we'll find a place to stop earlier than that. So I found a place. We had stopped on the way out. That really cute campground with the lake and everything. So we decided to stop there. We made it there. But before that, I have this video of us crossing the Mississippi River. I was trying to catch that, sign of Mississippi River, but the eastbound way does not have a cool Mississippi River sign like the westbound side does. Anyway, this is what our trip was sounding like by that point. Mississippi. Oh, that's look at that barge. Look at that barge down there. The big old barge. Wow. Yeah, the big old barge. What's that? It's hauling. What? I wonder what it's hauling. So we get to our campground. It's, I don't know, 6 maybe? I think, yeah, probably something like that. We've driven, 7 hours probably that day. So we get settled in for the night, trying to put the kids to sleep and all that, and it starts thunderstorming so loud. Like, it was right overhead, red on the radar. Super intense storms, and of course, in a metal camper, it sounds super, super loud. So it's thunderstorming. All the kids end up in our bed because Anna's scared of the thunderstorm, and we're just all hanging out until the storm passes and everybody can go to sleep. So finally everybody's asleep. We all, get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. We wake up at Nathan and I wake up about 4. And we're just kind of laying there like, what do we do? Do we just get up and go? So about 5, we decide, okay, the rain looks like it's not actually raining very hard. It just sounds really loud. So let's go. So we pack everybody up, put the kids in their car seats, pull out. It was really muddy by this point because it's been raining a lot. So we pull out, finally get out of our spot, and we pull out on the road, out of the campground, and we're coming around the corner. And all of a sudden, and if I have dash cam footage to support this, I will put this in there. If I do not, this is what we saw. Pull around the corner, and the lake, that beautiful little lake that we had seen so nicely a couple days before, was now on the road, and the ducks were floating merrily along. I was like, whoa, no way are we getting out of there that way. We could not drive through that road. And of course, that is the only road in or out of the campground. The only road. And it's supposed to rain another several inches of rain. come daybreak. So we're like, man, now we're stuck. This stinks. Like, how are we getting out of here? And our minds just start racing, like, what do we do? So we end up going back to our campsite. We're able to pull back in and get hooked back up and everything to power. And we're like, well, at least we're not drowning right now. And our campsite was up the hill a little bit from the lake, so we would probably be okay for a little while before the lake really rose, and we were hoping it would spill over the other side of the lake rather than the side we were on. Anyway, so we're just kind of laying there trying to go back to sleep, but our minds are just racing. Well, then come about 6:45, the power goes out. Our minds are even more racing, like mine especially. I'm like, I know we have a generator on the camper, but it's only gonna last so long. We only have a half a tank of gas. Like, how long will that last us? How long are we gonna be stuck here for? What do we do? Are we gonna have to evacuate the camper and like take a boat across the lake and all this stuff? And just 1,000 things going through my brain at that point. Well, Nathan decides it stopped raining kind of, so he's gonna go investigate. Go check out how bad the situation really is. And so he goes outside. After a while, he comes back in. Or no, he calls me. And he's like, quick, get the kids up. We're gonna go. We can make it out of here. I'm like, okay. So I throw the kids in their car seats real quick, pulling the slides. We get ready to go. We take off. And he's like, a guy walked through it. It was only ankle deep. And we can make it through. And then another truck went through. And it was not super high. So he's like, I think the water's gone down a little bit. We got to go now before it gets any worse, or before I lose my nerve. We're going right now. So we go. And this is what we had to drive through. I'll show you a picture of it. Oh, buddy, was this scary? Because there was the lake on the one side. And there was like the road, and then kind of like a drop off or grass. Like, if you got on that grass, you were done. Like, you were not making it through. And as we're driving through, we can see where the water level had been a foot higher. And I was like, man, if we had left at 5 o'clock, we wouldn't have made it through this. Like, even we would not have been able to drive through it, I'm pretty sure, at 5 o'clock. Earlier, when I had seen that water, I was like, well, maybe God's just protecting us from something worse happening, Like, I don't know, maybe we would have gotten in a crazy accident or something. I kind of had forgotten about that. So anyway, finally get out of the water, make it through safely. And we're driving carefully out of the road. And I mean, the road that to come into the campground is just, a rustic country road, not paved really well, or it might have been paved, or it might have been like oil and stone, but not like a busy road. Basically went to the campground and a few houses, and that was it. Anyway, coming along, all of a sudden there's a tree across the road. Somebody had cut it enough for like their truck to get through, but not much more. And our camper's pretty wide, and we just barely made it through without going off the road. And if we'd gone off the road there, we also probably would have been in not great shape either. But anyway, we got through. But I was thinking, wow, if we had left at 5 o'clock, maybe that tree would have fallen on us, or like it would have, maybe it was already fallen, and we wouldn't have been able to get through, and we would have been stuck there on the road for that hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. Maybe that's what God was protecting us from. I don't know, but it's kind of just neat to think of that, like God watching over us and using a flooded lake to watch over us, maybe. So then we're driving along further, and all of a sudden I see a cop up on like the side road parallel to the highway. And I was like, man, maybe that road is flooded out or something. I don't know what's going on, but there's a cop there. Maybe to keep people from going over the hill and, into this water that's at the bottom of the hill. Nope. There was a tree that was down at the bottom of the hill, and a truck was sitting on top of it. And I was like, how do you get a truck on top of the tree? I don't know how it happened, but wow. That must have been so scary for the people in the truck. And I hope they're okay, because, it looked intense. I was like, whoa. So the whole day, we left that campground at 7 o'clock in the morning, close to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and we drove all the way home. We did not get home till about 7 o'clock at night, Eastern time. So like it took 11 hours because of the time zone change. The entire way we were chasing, or that storm was chasing us home. At one point, it was covering the entire state of Mississippi with red storm, like on the radar. It was all red, and it was chasing us like an hour and a half behind us the entire way home. So like, when we'd stop for gas, we'd be like, go fast, like we're just stopping for gas, quick, make some lunch, make some breakfast, whatever, eat it quick because we're going down the road. don't stop too long because the storm is going to catch us and we need to get home before it hits us because there's going to be high winds, tornado threats, thunderstorms, heavy rain, like the whole bit. So all day long it chased us. The poor kids, they probably hated us after that because they were stuck in their car seats most of the day. Only hopping out to eat and stretch a little bit. And towards the afternoon, like we could breathe a little bit more easier. We had gotten kind of ahead of the storm a little bit more, and it was intense. Then, we hit Atlanta again at rush hour, and it wasn't too crazy. We made it through and got some dinner and made it home safely. But whoa, it was a crazy trip. Just kind of white knuckling it, I felt like, all the way home. The entire 13 plus GPS hours that we had to go. Yeah, that was intense. But we're home now. It's safe. But I just had to share that story with you because it's a pretty crazy story. I hope you enjoyed it. This ends our chronicles of our eclipse trip. It's very eventful, very busy, very go, go, go. And wow, now it's time to catch up on all things at home and get back to gardening life and all the things we got to do here. See you next time.